And welcome back to Love Your Food. This week we have these amazing and delicious pinecone rum balls. These are super simple and they look amazing. And before we get going with these, I'd like to remind everyone that we have an affiliate link with Chef's Temp. If you need a kitchen thermometer or a meat probe, or you want to give someone one as a gift for Christmas, check out the link in the description below and use code LOVEYOURFOOD on checkout for 15% off your order. Now our ingredients. We've got some chocolate cake. You can use whatever your favorite chocolate cake recipe is. Some condensed milk, sweetened condensed milk, some almond slices, some baker's chocolate, just semi-sweet or bittersweet, some coconut oil, and some rum. We're using Havana Club. You can use whatever you prefer. A nice sweet dark rum would be fine for this. Something like Kraken or Blackwell will do just fine. So the first thing we're going to do is toast our almond slices. Now, we're putting a lot in here. If you wanted, you could go through and pull out all of the full slices, because that's what you're going to want for this, and get rid of all the little crummy bits and that sort of thing. That's fine. You can just toss them all in the toaster and make sure they all get toasty. Now, we're going to make a drizzle to put on the top of these, and what we're going to do is put some baker's chocolate, and we're using, as I said before, we're using semi-sweet, and you can use bittersweet, whatever you prefer for this. And we're going to mix it with some coconut oil. And it's going to make kind of like magic shell, a little bit. You could also temper chocolate for this. That's the hard way to do it. So this is a little easier. So we're just doing this over a double boiler. We've got our coconut oil in there. And we're going to add in our chopped chocolate. And we're just going to let that melt. And then we're going to stir it together so that the coconut oil integrates with the chocolate. Now, you do want to make sure you're not getting any liquid in here. You don't want to drop any water, or you run the risk of your chocolate seizing. And you can see here it's starting to melt. Everything's nice and warm. And if you keep it on that double boiler, you'll make sure that it's not going to burn or scorch or anything. And we're just going to stir that together. Meanwhile, we're going to get working on our cake. Now, like I said, we're just using, and you'll use your favorite cake recipe for this. You just want a chocolate cake. The texture doesn't really matter because we're going to be squishing this together with some condensed milk and some rum to make rum balls, which are quite dense. So you can use a fluffy one. This is actually just an off-the-shelf cake mix that we made into a sheet cake. We're going to be doing some other things with it as well. There goes the condensed milk, and here comes the rum. Now, it doesn't look like a whole lot of liquid, but it doesn't need to be. And especially with the rum, it's really easy to honestly go too far with the rum in rum balls and make them super, super rummy, which can be a little bit much, honestly. So we're doing a sort of a lighter flavor. These aren't going to be, out of this world super rummy or anything. But you can see after some stirring and everything's well combined, it's a lot denser, and this is going to be the final texture. And we're going to roll those into balls, but because what we want to do is make them into pine cones, we're just going to make them slightly cone-shaped. We're just going to make sure they've got a little pinch top on there. And this is all while the chocolate is still melting in the coconut oil. And we're just going to set that on some wax paper. And there we go. We ended up with exactly 16, roughly the same size. You can also sprinkle into your cake. You can sprinkle some little bits of flaky salt, and that will add this nice little salty burst in there. We highly recommend that. So the next step is just to put in the almond slices. Now, you do have to be a little bit gentle because those almond slices are very thin. They're toasted, so they're a little bit fragile, and you want to get them, nice and deep in there. And just, make a pattern around the outside. You want to kind of do a spiral up the outside of the rum ball. And, you make them so that they are in a natural looking pattern. They're a little hard to handle after that, so you want to be gentle with them. And then once they are all done, we're going to come back and make sure that all of our chocolate and coconut oil, you can see here it's well combined. Everything's all nice in there. And we're just going to drizzle that lightly over top. And you don't have to get it perfect. It doesn't have to coat every part of the rum ball. As I said, you could also temper chocolate for this if you wanted to. It's a little bit more work, and you will get that snap. The thing about this kind of chocolate with the coconut oil, it does melt pretty easily in the hand. Now that's going to go direct into the fridge, and we're going to let those chill until they are solid. Now we've got a nice plate here. We've put a little bit of powdered sugar on the plate. We're just going to put a couple of our little pine cones on the plate. They look excellent, and they will look even better once you dust a little bit of that icing sugar on top as well. So just a little dusting of that icing sugar on top. And those look fantastic. They taste great too. That toasted almond flavor really sort of brings out a lot of the character of the chocolate, and the cake, and the rum is really nice. It makes a really great pairing, and we hope you'll give this one a try sometime this holiday season. It's a fun project to do with the family, and you don't have to use rum, of course, if you're going to do it with kids. You can use a little bit of chocolate sauce, whatever you prefer. We hope you'll give it a try. If you like this recipe, please do like and subscribe, and if you have any recipes you'd like to see Chef Caleb try on the channel, please let us know in the comments below. We'd like to thank our patrons over on Patreon. I'll put a link for that in the description below as well. And remember to love your food.